A nation is a group of people brought together, sharing something in common. Now, what is it that they share in common? What is it that binds them together? That has to be investigated first of all. If the basis of the nation is race or ethnicity or language, color, creed, then you would see very clearly that there is a big problem. Because then nationalism is founded on the basis of man versus man. Me versus you. We have the same skin color, so we are one nation. Or we share the same language, so we are one nation. And therefore somebody has to be the other. Somebody has to be treated as the outsider or the enemy or the pariah. Do you see this? If I say that we can be together as a nation only because we share a certain common language or a certain common religion, do you see the dangers that come with it? Or we are one nation because we are Aryans. That's how much of Germany wanted it in the 30s and 40s. So that's the reason why nationalism, like any other ideology, becomes problematic. However, there is a very distinct kind of nationalism that can be very virtuous. But only that kind of nationalism. A nationalism that is not divisive. A nationalism that is not founded on what separates the two of us, instead founded on what unites the two of us. Think of the various kind of nationalities you know of. Are they not all founded on divisions? A group of people, they get together and they say, we are a nation. We are a nation because we have a common shared characteristic. And therefore we are separate from somebody else. Think of why India had to be politically divided. What was Jinnah's argument? What was the two-nation theory? He said Hindus and Muslims, they are not just two different religions. They are two different nations. Because everything about them is distinct, exclusive. So when you have a nationalism that is founded on differences, then nationalism becomes toxic, violent, and leads to horrible consequences. So we are saying, let there be a nationalism that is not founded on the differences between man and man. Instead, it is founded on what is common between you and me, man and man. Now, what is it that we share? Now that takes us into philosophy, rather metaphysics. What is common between the two of us? If you look at one person and then at another, you would only perceive differences, right? Even if you say that they share a common language, the dialect or the accent would be different. Even if you say that they share a common religion, yet they might be investing themselves in different stories or different verses or different gods. So, by definition, one person is always very distinct from the other, and the differences are countless. Man is different from woman, is he not? The young person is different from the old person. The rich says he is different from the poor. Right? The ones living in the East say we are different from the Westerners. Pakistan got made on the basis of religion, but then had to be divided on the basis of language. So differences never end. You find one commonality, and behind that commonality, there would be 10 differences lurking. The moment you found your nationalism on something that is not absolutely universal, you are just inviting discord, strife, hatred, limitations. And none of that is any good, obviously. Are you getting it? Huh? So, the Germans say we are one people, the French say we are another people. The Brits say, oh, we belong to Europe, but we still are a distinct class. We don't even want to be a part of the Euro. Why do we do that? Because the ego thrives only in differences. The ego loves to have boundaries. Ego is another name for boundaries. The bounded self is called the ego. Right? So most of the nationalism that you see actually arises from the ego and is therefore not auspicious at all.